Item 14, inform the board that the Florida Association of Counties sent letters to each of Florida's congressional delegation opposing bills related to the National Flood Insurance Program that recently passed the House Financial Committee. A copy of the attached letter explains how detrimental the package of bills approved by the committee will be to Florida consumers and local governments. And I did this because I know the board probably is going to make a motion to have me send another letter.
I can tell you that the National Flood Program stuff came up, that's one of the items that came up at the
in
White
DC.
House.
Okay. So I'm just letting that information for you guys, and I'm going to move on before you make me write another letter. Item 16, final item, inform the board that the 2018 Florida Association of Counties Calendar Photo Contest is open. This is the 5th year of the FAC Calendar Photo Contest. And the theme this year is Florida Bodies of Water. Last year, the TDC ran the contest on behalf of the board. Would the county consider allowing the TDC to advertise the contest, accept the photos, and forward the recommended pictures to the board for submission? I already talked to Mr. Blair, and he said he'd be glad to do it. They liked doing it last year, and they'll be glad to do it again this year.
The TDC has a lot of pictures as far as our water body. Oystermen working on the water, the crabbers and the shrimpers.
So if it's good with the board, I will let him run the program again and did like he did last year for us.
Last night I was watching Channel 13 and they had a beautiful picture coming from the weather camera over here off the bridge showing the sunset back over here to the west. And it was really, really nice, and they commented on how nice
And
it was.
those webcams come through TDC, so we may can take a shot of that.
Still do.
We may have a shot of that.
Okay.
Roll the film and do
Okay,
that.
so I don't think I.
Any comments from the board from Mr. Morone while he's up?
Just only one comment. Thank you for all your hard work trying to get us to Washington and back.
Yeah.
We did make it back, as everybody sees.
Glad.
Was it a hard trip? Yes, it was. It was unique. That's all I can say.
Well, glad to have you guys back. I'm glad you guys were able to make it. That's
That was
it.
unique.
Did y'all see the president?
No.
He was at a distance.
You would?
I got a glimpse of him,
Okay.
a fleeting glimpse of him.
Mr. Schuler?
Two items for the board's consideration. One is, I just want for the record, I'm presenting the original proof of publication for today's public hearing on the moratorium with the clerk's office. And then secondly, you have in place presently what we refer to as a planning pause or a zoning in progress, which you heard some adverse comments about today concerning people needing to pull repair permits and maintenance permits or to replace existing structures. And so what I'm going to suggest to the board this morning is that you by motion and vote amend your planning pause by allowing the issuance of building permits for repairs, maintenance of existing structures, and the replacement of existing structures. It still would not authorize building permits for new development. And so that action would require a motion and second from the board, and just you don't need a supermajority, just a regular majority vote of the board would be
That would
sufficient.
allow them to redo septic tanks,
Yes,
HVAC,
yes.
Any-
Replace the roof.
replace the
Some of-
roof, but it would not allow them to build a new building.
Yeah.
Would it allow them to add on to a building?
No.
That would be new construction.
That would be, I would consider that new construction. All we're talking about is repairs and maintenance of existing structures and even the replacement of existing structures. But it would have to be the same structure. They could not knock down a 1,000 square foot building and put back up a larger building. It would have to be the same building.
Okay.
We do have a motion by Commissioner Sanders. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion? Billy, you got to come forward, state your name for the record.
Billy Blackburn, BJ's Pizza. I just want, say if my store, I had a problem with my drain field and I need to go buy another lot real quick to increase the size of the drain fields with the new, what the state's making us do on a lot of our drain field, would I be able to get a permit for that? That's all I'm asking. It's not a building, it's for drain fields and things
Is this
like that.
something that's, are you expanding the restaurant itself, or
No.
or is it just?
It's just, you know, how, like I have 2 lots now, and one's not on my property, It's away from the building, and we pump for that, and it's just a drain field.
Correct.
If I had to increase that size of my drain fields, would I be able to get a permit to put a new drain field in on another lot somewhere?
Commissioner, I would rather have a chance to talk to Mr. Blackburn outside of the meeting and get more information. I think we might be able to work with him, but I do think we need more information, and I don't think we can do this live during the meeting either. But I'll certainly meet with Mr.
Okay.
Blackburn, and we'll see what we can do to provide some relief.
Thank you.
We do have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion?
Yeah, what happens if we have a disaster?
That's where the replacement of the existing structure comes in.
Okay, they'll be able to replace that on it.
That is
Just-
correct.
Just existing, okay.
Yes,
Just for that 6 months.
Yeah.
but it's
that
only for a
six-
6-month period.
After 6 months, it goes right back to normal.
Okay. I hope we don't have them.
I hope so as well.
We do have a motion and a second on the
Need to
floor.
know.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carried.
Commissioner, I don't have anything else for the board's consideration this morning.
Would you come forward, please, sir? Would you come forward? He has something to bring to the board. He's not on the agenda, but come forward, state your name for the record, please.
Good morning. My name is Jonathan Brecker. I apologize for not getting on the agenda. This was short notice. I work for the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. I'm the Central Panhandle Aquatic Preserve Manager, which includes Alligator Harbor, the Apalachicola Bay, St. Joseph Bay, and St. Andrews Bay aquatic preserves. As a part of our management plan process, we've been reviewing and updating a lot of management plans across the state. And we've been working at updating the Alligator Harbor management plan, and we are having public meetings where we are inviting the public to add or to provide any comment or concerns about the Alligator Harbor area, which is in Franklin County, as you all know. So just to make it official and to invite you all or the public in general, this is just an announcement of the public meeting. You can also submit comments, concerns via email. You can call me. All my contact info is listed on that flyer. The new management plans are available online to look through. And we do encourage any sort of comment, criticism, critique, just a grammar edit
Don't ask
even.
for criticism now, Dawn.
I like.
ask for
You don't have to ask for that.
I do like it. So I mean, anything to make the aquatic preserve better. I encourage any sort of participation from the public. So I appreciate your time. If you have any questions now, I can answer. If not, please feel free to contact me.
That's what I was talking about earlier when I said AHAP.
Yes, ma'am. I know.
And that's the reason why I said it. So I got your email. So.
Oh, great. That's right. I did
got
email you.
your
That's right.
email.
So, all right. Well, sorry.
Any further comments from the board?
You the one with the aquaculture?
I'm sorry.
Aquaculture.
Aquaculture, y'all the one who,
Yes, sir. The aquaculture lease is in Alligator Harbor. We also do a lot of the oyster monitoring that's in Apalachicola Bay right now as well.
Let me ask you a question. When we originally started that project, the aquaculture project down there, we had 46 leases. Do we still have 46? And are they pretty much well taken, or are there some staying out there that's not being worked, that it's up for grabs, or do you know?
Currently, the number I received the other day just from DAX, Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, that there are 43 leases, and they're each 1.5 acres. And I think that most of them are in use. A lot of them have been converted from the clam aquaculture to the water column for oysters, but they are pretty regularly worked out there. I can't tell you if every single one is in use. That would be a question for DAX.
Okay, thank you for that.
do y'all y'all the one who finally, for these shelling, who make the end decision where to go?
That is also DAX. We are involved in the monitoring process, so we get to go to the meetings sometimes. Most of the time, it's DAX who decides on which reefs to shell on, and then we do all of the monitoring. For instance, in Apalachicola Bay, the first round of shelling that occurred, that was about a year ago, and it's a 10-year monitoring project. There's going to be another project that is going to be coming up with restore funds that's going to shell some additional reefs on the eastern side of the bay, and we'll also be involved in that monitoring process as well.
Well, who monitoring this western end, cause it's dry down there, I mean, the bottom, St. Vincent and all of them, they ain't got nothing on.
That's where we monitor too, and without revealing too much, there's a lot less activity on the western side of the bay. That's the best way I can put it. We're not seeing much over there.
That used to be the best,
Yeah.
the best place to work out of, but all on that end now, it's just like that ground down there, ain't nothing.
Yeah,
Ain't
it's-
been no reselling out there.
I know it. We need to do something about that.
They're not gonna do it.
But anyway, any other comments from this gentleman from DEP?
No.
I do apologize for you having to sit through all the drama here today.
No, it's not the first time it's happened with a
It's
commissioners
business that
meeting.
we had to conduct, and I couldn't just, with a public hearing scheduled at certain times, I couldn't.
No, it's
swap the
understandable,
agenda
and
around.
actually, normally, I would try to get on the agenda, but like I said, I found out late last week I needed to attend one of these to get the information out, and so I didn't even try to get on the agenda. I figured it would be too short, because most time,
Do you have
commissioners
the-
need about a week-long
Do you have
notice.
Michael's contact information for you?
I do not. Is it available online? I can find it, or if a card would
He
be
can get you
fine.
a card, and that way next time you can contact with him, and if you need to come back to this board or something, we'll get you set up on the agenda. We don't have to wait
Great.
a half a day. I'm sure it's been a real interesting meeting for you today.
Well, it's been educational.
It's
so-
been interesting for us too, so we're all in this together.
And some of those comments that we made during it, he can take the mail back to Tallahassee for us. How about
I mean,
that?
just, I ain't gonna get into it. We've
No,
done
I'm
that.
teasing with you.
But if you'll get with Mr. Morone here, should the need arise, you need to come back and address the board, we'll try to get you on the agenda and get you in and out. We do appreciate you bringing the information to us today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. All right, we're down to commissioner comments. Oh, wait a minute. You wanna tell us anything about the Washington
Do
trip?
y'all wanna know?
Spit it out.
It was an eventful trip, and as you all know, I was spokesman for the commissioners, but, with the White House, but also Commissioner Jones and Commissioner Massey accompanied me up there. It was an overwhelming trip. I'd never been to Washington DC again. I probably won't go again in my life, in my lifetime. But I can tell you, I came out of the meetings at the White House enthused with the White House, with the federal government wanting to listen to us, the people. And I can tell you that we had a meeting in I'm going to cut down to the Eisenhower building. We all went into the White House tour and all that, and it was quite remarkable to see the press room and to see the red room, the blue room, the green room, the gold room, and Reagan's picture up there. And, it was nice, but to get down to it and to let everybody know, we were well represented from the Panhandle. We had commissioners from, and I'm talking small counties. Larger counties were there. I think there was around 125 county commissioners statewide there. You had representatives from, let's start it off, from, you didn't have anybody there from Dixie, but you had Levy, Swanee, you had Madison, Taylor, you had Wakulla, Leon, didn't have Gadsden there. You had Franklin, Liberty, Calhoun, Gulf, Bay, Jackson, Holmes. I mean, we were well represented there. And that morning, we were able to go to the Capitol, and Congressman Dunn treated us to a little breakfast that morning, and then we made our way over to the Capitol. Was awesome. I mean, it's so many old buildings up there. I mean, they're old. I mean, I knew that, but it was just different. I thought it would be colonial type housing, and it wasn't. It was like little apartments. Smokey, you've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
It just made me think different than what I was raised up to think. But anyway, get into the Eisenhower building. I got into the Eisenhower building, and it was like I said, 125 of us. Who organized that was Billy Kirkland, who's the intergovernmental affairs person for the administration. And he made it very clear that the administration wanted to speak to the commissioners of the different states. They had Pennsylvania week before last, they had Florida last week, they're having Michigan this week. all the commissioners, and they're inviting them. And what they want is a better working relationship with the local government. And we had USDA, we had Department of Interior there, who was U.S. Fish and Wildlife, we had FEMA. We did not have Army Corps of Engineers because we were all waiting on them, and I think they knew that because every county in the state had issues with Army Corps of Engineers. But we had, like I said, FEMA. We had the Department of State. I tried to get them to help Commissioner Jones, but anyway. And we had intergovernmental affairs people from every department. We had import, export. I didn't even know there was a Department of Import Export. I did not even know that. None of us did. Only 2 commissioners out of the whole room knew that. So they told us what they did a little bit. But the biggest thing, and I'm going to just paraphrase it and cut short, the biggest thing that I learned was one of the intergovernmental people said, during the first 6 months of this administration, they have been able to do away with 14 regulations at the federal level. And he said it is the administration's wish for every new regulation, they get rid of 2 regulations. So that's what you're seeing. You're going to see a lot of regulations that do not need to be there, basically, is what they feel. So, and in turn, you get more local, what you do, you get more local control. You see what I'm saying? And he said, and I believe if you go through a permitting process, and the permitting process, let's say, has been issued by the federal government, then nobody needs to mess with it no more. It only needs to go through one governmental entity to be able to be permitted. All these other ones, like FEMA, don't need to be bogging things down. So that was good. Mr. Kirkland, I was concerned that Army Corps of Engineers, because if you all read on the white paper that we submitted on the dredging and the Apalachicola River flows and all this, and I was concerned that we didn't have anybody with Army Corps of Engineers there to address it. So I wonder why. But anyway, Mr. Kirkland informed me that he has a roundtable discussion with all the intergovernmental affairs person every Wednesday, and that he will take these issues to the roundtable Wednesday, and he will discuss everything with them. And every time that they have a meeting, he will ask for updates on it. And as soon as he has the update, he wants to get with our staff. He wants a relationship with our staff to where that we will know where we're at in the process. So I felt really positive. I got in there about a little bit before 12. I didn't leave out of the building until 7:30 that night. It was an all-day meeting. The building is the Eisenhower building. It has what they call the war room, where all the Joint Chiefs of Staff, we got to see that. We got to see National Security Council, where they're at, and all that. It was pretty amazing. And I thank the people for supporting us to be able to send us. And I can say, and I got up and said, I've been a commissioner for 20 years. We have never been invited to the White House before. So I feel energetic as far as feeling like maybe, and that's what I told them. Maybe we will be more included into things and not feel disenfranchised, federal, state, local. So, and one of the people said also that, if Governor Scott or if the state government can do it better, then they're going to let them do it better. Like I said, one of the issues was Veterans Affairs, and they said that Florida is pretty much above board, farther than any other state with the Veterans Affairs stuff. So anyway, I felt real positive about it. But Michael, we want to make sure that you keep in contact, you and Alan keep in contact with Billy Kirkland, and make sure that we get a response on Army Corps of Engineers stuff, and let's go from there.
Speaking of which, I didn't mention this earlier, so I got an email that was sent to Alan, And he said he got it last week, and the Corps has received a time extension on dredging the East Point Channel until 2023.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. And I'm so
Forward
glad
that
you
on to
said.
Billy Kirkland.
I will, and because you said the Corps, I just remembered about that. It came.
Yeah, we need to, see, they didn't show up. They didn't show up the other day.
Well, maybe they were doing this email. No, I'm just kidding.
Forward that to Billy Kirkland and put on their
I sure will.
special attention.
There's more chance to find some money for that project, that extension.
All right. Go down to commissioner comment.
Yeah, did we ever find, Michael, we over here in the move about that thing?
About the,
Yeah, the program, what is,
oh, with Ashley, because I was out for a few days, I didn't have a chance to call that gentleman that Ashley has. So I'm trying to get him on there for the August 15th or September 1st meeting. Get more information on that program for you guys.
all right.
Any other commissioner comments? Public comment. Come forward, state your name for the record. Oh, you don't have any? You just waving at me? Okay. Meeting recess.
I don't want nobody bad, I was saying good commission and bad commission on that.
I hear that, Mr. Nolan.